I am Jana Basonko, and this is QTV News, coming to you live from our studios along Kaibra Avenue. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main local and sports news headlines. After his Meet the People tour in the provinces, President Barrow arrived in Banjul on Thursday and was greeted with a massive welcome by thousands of supporters. Prior to his arrival in Banjul, the president and his entourage made all the important stops at Kiang and Mansakonko to dialogue with the people. The Gambia has scored 54%, which is above average on the global breastfeeding target, according to the acting executive director of the National Nutrition Agency, NANA. In sports news, the Birkama Sports Committee has dissolved the technical department of Birkama United FC. Those were the main headlines, and now the news in detail. To stay with us. Thank you for joining us, and I am Jana Basonko. Now, as President Barrow's Meet the People tour made its way closer to the West Coast region, the president and his entourage made all the important stops along the way at Kiang and Mansakonko. Mamadou Lamin Choi has the rest of that.
First was a joint meeting of 4 constituencies and a united front of 6 political parties with supporters out in their numbers for an opportunity to dialogue with the president. The meeting was held at Kiang Jirov, where people from Kiang Central, East, West and Jara West constituencies converged. President Adama Barrow updated the people of Kiang on the second phase of the Kiang Roads project.
Kiang West Goal si news dina do di alla kotenke na first part ni mu 39 kilometers ledi bari 46 kilometers men to da nin contractor sila ndiamuta mbenda kangola abe continue abe 46 kilometers farando kula Kiang Kwali.
The president also announced major infrastructural developments, including the construction of 13 rest stations along the highways with toilets and sitting hall for travelers. In addition, and for emergency accident response along the highways, President Barrow announced that there will be ambulance stations across the country. On Tuesday, at a similar meeting in Dongoroba, people from Jara East and Central gathered in solidarity with the president and highlighted their development challenges. At Mansakonko, President Barrow laid a foundation stone for the expansion of the Community Health Nursing School, a 6-month-long project which is expected to boost the capacity of this school. The project is funded by the MRC Holland Foundation and will extend the admission capacity of this school, allowing the intake of more students from the surrounding communities.
The construction is going to be 6 classroom block and 20 room dormitory. Each dormitory will have 4 students. That will accommodate for 80 students.
The trained nurses at this school are mostly deployed to health facilities in the surrounding communities to provide primary health care services. An expansion project for this school will contribute towards increasing the human resource capacity and address the demands for health facilities.
We currently offer 2 programs in this school. We offer a general certificate in community health nursing and also midwifery. Our graduates usually work in the villages. They also take care of the community clinics, and you can find some of them also at some health centers. They take care of the health of the people, and they mostly take care of the primary level care. They are the ones that you will find in most of the remote villages in the country.
President Barrow thanks the MRC Holland Foundation for their contribution to the development of the country, particularly the expansion of this project for community nurses in Mansakonko.
I will seize this opportunity to thank the MRC Holland Foundation for the support they have been giving us since 2017. Without their support, it would have been very, very, very difficult for us to have all this infrastructural development as far as education is concerned.
With support like this one from the MRC Holland Foundation, the construction of 6 health centers, 18 health posts, to which over 200 Cuban doctors have been mobilized for deployment across the country, the agenda to transform the health sector appears to be gathering pace. President Barrow recognizes capacity building as part of his government's reform agenda. In response to one of the challenges of this school, the Gambian leader makes an announcement.
You ask for buses, we will provide buses for you.
The Mansa Concourse School of Enrolled Community Health Nurses and Midwives was built in 1976 from funds provided by the United States government through the University of California to improve the quality of care for Gambian mothers and children through the reduction of preventable maternal and infant morbidity and mortality. As in most of the rural communities visited, the president responded to their concerns and challenges with, among offers to address concerns, the distribution of ambulances and plans to give tractors, power tillers and milling machines. Mohamed Lamin Choi, QTV News.
Still on the president's tour, on Thursday, President Adama Barrow arrived in West Coast region and the Greater Banjul area and was greeted with a massive welcome by thousands of supporters, which the head of state hails as the biggest in the history of his political career. Mohamed Lamin Choi again.
This is the scene as a warm welcome greets President Adama Barrow as he arrived in the West Coast region from his constitutionally mandated tour of the provinces, where he had the chance for dialogue with the people who aired their concerns and his government's response measures to bring much-needed development for the country. Thousands have converged to give an electrifying welcome to the head of state as he made his way from the West Coast region to the capital, Banjul. For some of these supporters, their support for the president is anchored around the peace, freedom and the developments registered in the 4 years of his presidency.
For
democracy, it is prevailing in the country. Even the media is free, to which you can be a living witness. A president who has mercy and love for his country is what we want.
Wow, Adama Barrow, degal, luma gana neex ci mom, degal am nañ freedom because nekk fi ñu neex ñu taxaw wax te loolu yokkate la moko fi esi.
What pleases me with Adama Barrow is we have freedom and now we can express ourselves freely. Having said that, he is constructing many roads in the provinces. I am a driver and the bridge has eased our mobility because we used to spend 1 week at the Farafenni ports waiting to cross. Thank God we can cross easily. This massive welcome, given the many Gambians it has mobilized, has proved historic for the president, who describes it as the biggest in the history of his political career. He also called on Gambians to continue supporting his government.
I thank the Gambian people for the support they have given me. Definitely, I cannot ask for more than this support. For the welcoming, I think this is the biggest welcoming ever. Even my homecoming from Senegal, this is bigger than that one. But it's because the Gambians have appreciated what we have been doing, and we feel that we should do more.
President Barrow considers his Meet the People tour in the provinces as a success and thanks Gambians for their support to his government for the development of the country.
I think this was a very, very, very successful tour. We were welcomed by large crowds wherever we visited, and large crowds attended our meetings. It is dialogue with the people, and we have dialogue with the people. But one thing was outstanding. The people really appreciated what we have been doing for the past 4 years.
The National People's Party, in alliance with other parties, is preparing for an NPP-led government which its leader anticipates will create the right environment for a continuation of its development goals for the Gambia.
It means a lot. I have listened to the people, what the people have been saying. People are saying in Wolof Jehna, others are saying Abandale, Kubi. I think that is the message the people actually. And I think this is a clear signal to the opposition that nobody can stop President Barrow going forward.
The second phase of the presidential Meet the People tour commences on Saturday with a joint meeting of Fonyi Jarol, Bondale and Kansala constituencies at Mayok, where dialogue is expected to be on development concerns and government's programs and policies to address them. Mohamed Lamin Choi, QTV News.
Now that is it on the Meet the People tour. Now let's take a look at the acting executive director of the National Nutrition Agency, NANA, has revealed that the Gambia has scored 54%, which is above average on the global breastfeeding target. Dr. Ahmad Ba made these remarks at the commemoration of World Breastfeeding Week, funded by the Japanese government through UNICEF. This is my report. The theme for this year's World Breastfeeding Day is Protect Breastfeeding, a Shared Responsibility, which seeks to find ways to ensure survival, health and well-being of people and the need to protect breastfeeding worldwide. To prove the need to breastfeed continuously, mothers with confirmed or suspected coronavirus should be advised to breastfeed babies with necessary hygiene precautions. Malang Fofana, the Program Manager, Program Implementation Unit at NANA, shares more benefits of breastfeeding.
We all know in this country, maternal mortality is high. A lot of women die in childbirth because when they are delivering, they lose a lot of blood. But if you put the child to the breast in the first hour of birth, it helps in stopping bleeding. And that can avoid maternal death. For women who deliver in hospital earlier days, there's always a small tablet that they give to the mother soon after birth, called Egometrin. This tablet is meant to stop bleeding. But studies have shown that if you put the child to the breast in the first hour, the effect of breastfeeding far outweigh the effect of the tablet that they give to mothers.
The acting executive director of NANA, Dr. Ahmad Ba, confirmed that the Gambia has reached and surpassed the average global target of breastfeeding.
In the past years, the National Nutrition Agency with its partners, the Ministry of Health, UNICEF, WHO, FAO, WFP, we have all partnered, and this is very important in the work that we have done it in partnership with others to make sure we are where we are today. You hear or you heard our strides being mentioned, that we are even beyond the global target already. But we still need to do more because our target is 70%, we are at 54%, but we are above the global average at the moment.
Nene Toure from the Directorate of Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment calls on both public and private sector to galvanize action and support to protect breastfeeding to improve public health.
Government institutions are not found wanting most of the time. But if you look at it, with the private sector, there is a challenge because especially some businesses, don't want to give women that 6 months maternity leave with pay because they feel that they cannot pay the woman who is sitting at home for 6 months and also paying somebody else doing the job at the office. So at times it is challenging for women who are of reproductive age to even secure employment.
Studies have shown that the failure to breastfeed infants is associated with elevated risk of childhood obesity, type 1 and type 2 diabetes, leukemia and sudden infant death syndrome. For mothers, failure to breastfeed is associated with an increased incidence of breast cancer, ovarian cancer, retained gestational weight gain, type 2 diabetes, amongst other complications. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jenna Bosonko.
From that story, we will now go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, we have some more local news stories as well as sports. Do stay tuned.
Looking for the fastest and easiest way to receive money transfers from abroad? Well, QMoney and Ria just made it happen. Now you can receive international money transfer from Ria directly into your QMoney account with no additional cost. Once you receive an SMS alert about your transfer, walk into any QMoney agent across the country to receive your payment for free or use the money immediately to buy credit, QPower and other QMoney services. It's fast, safe and convenient. For more info, call customer care on 133. QMoney, Sinu Calpe. Terms and conditions apply. The best product in town is back. QCell's MiFi router. Get the best MiFi in the country for just $2,800 and connect up to 15 users with 4G internet speeds and a long-lasting battery life. So rush now to any of our customer care locations and get the best for less while stocks last. For more info, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Senior Boss, the Gambia's quality network. We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News and I am Jenna Bosonko, still on international news. In commemoration of International Coastal Cleanup Day, the National Association of Artisanal Fisheries Operators, NAFO, and the African Confederation of Small-Scale Fisheries Professional Organization on Sunday embarked on a cleansing exercise along the Tanje Fish Landing site. Abibatu Sise has the rest of that.
Annually, the Gambia joins the rest of the world to observe International Coastal Cleanup Day to remove trash from beaches, identify the sources of debris, and change the behaviors that deposit trash or garbage into the water in the first place. This pollutes the waters and the environment, potentially causing harm to humans, animals, and marine species. At the Tanje Beach, Lamin Bojan, representing the Alcalo of Tanje, says the coastal town is one of the busiest and plays an important role in the country's fisheries sector. He expressed appreciation to NAFO and CAUPA for the initiative.
I'm very proud and very happy to receive them here. Their quota is very important in the cleaning exercise. The Tanje people and the entire community of Tanje, including the fisher folks of Tanje, we are very cooperative, and then we are very thankful, and then we are very happy to receive them all here.
At the event, CAUPA presented wheelbarrows, rakes, shovels, and gloves for the exercise. Here is Kadi Job, the program officer at CAUPA.
The coastline should be cleaned regularly to prevent pollution, which can cause harm to both humans and animals. Plastic and waste materials destroy the ocean, so I am urging you all to protect the environment.
Mamadou Sarr, the president of Tanje Fishermen Association, thanked CAUPA and NAFO for the support and assured them that the donated materials will be put to good use.
The coastline should always be clean, and that is what we are doing. In fact, we have people who clean here regularly, and we pay them. We assure you the materials will be put to good use.
The theme for this year's celebration, Keep Trash in the Bin and Not in the Ozone, reflects human activity in polluting the ozones and highlights the importance of protecting the coastline and ozones. For QTV News, I am Abibatu Sise.
The practice of caring for roaming groups of domesticated livestock has been happening since prehistoric times. Herdsmen moved from one grazing area to another in search of greener pastures for their animals. This report by Don Williams in Farafenni is narrated by Yaya Jawo.
These animals were pursued in the wild centuries ago. Now, they are tamed and controlled and are a reliable sources of meat, milk and milk products and hides. Marmbai is a herdsman who lives in Kersule, a village in Gambia on the border with Senegal. His ranch is located at the outskirts of the village. He explains how he became a herdsman. This is my work. I have been doing it since I was young. Sometimes it is good. Other times we encounter some challenges. But we thank God for everything. Sometimes our cattle go missing and we don't see them. At the moment, 2 of my cattle are missing, and I still can't find them. But I thank Allah. I have been rearing cattle since I was young. Herding is all I know, and this is my work. Isa Kamara is a former student of Farafenni Senior Secondary School and the Gambia College. He is currently studying mathematics at the University of the Gambia. He is on vacation and now herding cattle, a trade he says he inherited and loves doing. He narrates the challenges involved in herding.
Times you have to wake up around 2 a.m. and come back to this place to visit your cattle. Or else it's not easy. You cannot just be staying at home and then you leave your cattle rampant like this. Anything could happen, you know. Sometimes there are some challenges that you look at in the morning, you may not be able to even find some of the cattle. So you have to go and case for them and see where you'll be able to get them.
He explains some of the challenges associated with herding.
I close from school. I know that the university now, if we are done with our program, I have to come back home and then engage myself in it.
Cattle, for example, are a source of meat and milk for consumption. The dung or droppings are a source of fertilizer for plants. When slaughtered, the hide is used to make leather products like shoes, belts and clothing among others. And even the horns are used as flutes and decorations. Reporting for QTV News, I am Yahya Jao.
Now let's take a look at what is happening in the world of sports. The Brikama Sports Committee has dissolved the technical department of Brikama United FC. According to the president of the sports committee, the dissolution was to restructure the team to be more professional and competitive. Our sports reporter Mamadou Gajaga has the rest of that.
According to a press release by the club, the decision was reached after the board and the Brikama Sports Committee agreed to dissolve the technical teams. The committee want to restructure the club ahead of the professionalization of the GFF First Division League. Brikama United finished 8th in the recently concluded GFF First Division, their lowest position in the last 6 years. Reacting to the decision, the president of the Brikama Sports Committee says they are preparing to attain the status of a professional club.
It is true the lack of good performance or the poor performance contributed to the action, but the major action is due to the intended professionalization of the Gambian League. Brikama want to be one of those teams in the professional league. So being the case, we need to prepare in advance because to be a professional team, there are certain things that you need to have in place before you will be qualified to be considered in that professional league.
Brikama United won the league in 2019 with the same technical side that is now dissolved. Was the decision based on the performance of the team in the recently ended league? Could it be due to the behavior of officials on the bench, especially during matches when their team was on the losing side?
I think this is a coincidence because I would say when we started, like last year, we were working on the players because when you look at our last year's team, it's more youthful than the previous years. Why? Because we want to restructure or reorganize the team so that it will fit in the next 2-3 years in real competition. And probably we would have wanted to be in the first, second and third, which didn't happen. But nonetheless, we also gave the coach a target and we also asked him to scout more young players. So I think even if he is not performing, as long as he is within the range of an acceptable range, we shouldn't have dissolved the technicians as at now.
Despite the long-term dream of the GFF to professionalize the Gambia's first division, Brikama United remains the only team to have dissolved their technical department. The dissolution, according to Victor, is across the board and affects both male and female teams. Sambu further stated that the vacant positions in the technical department are open to suitably qualified candidates to apply.
There are certain things that we'll be looking at. First of all, your qualification, and then 2, your comportment, and then how you are able to comport yourself during games. Because as a coach, you need to be patient. And we don't want those aggressive or whoever who just come into the technician level. At the end of the day, he will not be compromising with the referees. You as a coach need to be patient enough, and then you know the game at your fingertip.
Brikama Sports Committee is the administrative body which oversees the development of sports in Brikama and in the West Coast region. Football, volleyball, basketball and athletics are the main sporting disciplines which the committee supports. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News.
That is all we have time for, but before we leave, let's take a look at our main headlines. After his Meet the People tour in the provinces, President Barrow arrived in Banjul on Thursday and was greeted with a massive welcome by thousands of supporters. Prior to his arrival in Banjul, the president and his entourage made all the important stops at Kiang and Mansa Konko to dialogue with the people. The Gambia has scored 54%, which is above average on the global breastfeeding target, according to the acting director of the National Nutrition Agency, NANA. In sports news, the Brikama Sports Committee has dissolved the technical department of Brikama United FC. Well, that is all we have time for. Thanks for watching and join us tomorrow, same time for more news.